How's everybody doing today? Today, we're going to be finding out what would happen if every team in the NBA got to take the best player from the team they just beat in the playoffs. Shout out to my friend Bobathan for giving me this idea. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. And for this, we're going to be starting off in the second round because obviously in the first round, no teams gained any different players, so it would turn out the same way as it did in real life. And then we'll go over each of these teams and find out which players they picked up from the first round. So first off, the Jazz ended up beating the Grizzlies, so the Jazz get to pick up Ja Morant. The Clippers defeated the Dallas Mavericks, so they pick up Luka Doncic, and I also turned off injuries for this playoff simulation. So anybody that was injured is now uninjured. So Kawhi Leonard is going to be nice and healthy. So this Clippers team is looking really good adding Luka. Then we had the Denver Nuggets defeat the Portland Trailblazers. So the Nuggets get Damian Lillard, and they have a really solid guard duo now of Lillard and Jamal Murray. Then our final team in the West, we had the Suns defeat the Lakers. So the Suns get to pick up LeBron James. Moving over to the East now, we had the 76ers defeat the Wizards. So the 76ers pick up Bradley Beal. Now, you could argue that Russell Westbrook is the better player, but Bradley Beal has the higher overall in 2K. So that is the player they're going to get. We had the Hawks defeat the Knicks. So the Knicks pick up Julius Randle. We had the Bucks defeat the Miami Heat. So the Bucks pick up Jimmy Butler. And then moving on to our final team, we had the Nets defeat the Boston Celtics. So they get to add Jason Tatum to the roster. And then since we got another power forward on the team now, I decided to move Kevin Durant down to small forward. And he now goes up to a 99 overall. And this Nets team is even more stacked than they were before. So if the Nets get another W in round 2 here, they get to pick up a Giannis. And I don't think it would be possible to beat this team. Let's hop into all of our second round matchups now that they have their newly added players to the team, and see which teams advance to the conference finals. Hopping into our first series here, we have the Nuggets versus the Suns, and the Suns are going to get the W here in game number 5, up by 8 points. Only 45 seconds left. Very unlikely that the Nuggets do come back here, but the Suns with LeBron are just so OP. The Nuggets, I mean, this very well is still possible. It's a 6-point game now after that dunk. They're going to have to foul. I mean, if they're fouling at this point, I don't see them losing. So the Suns are going to be our first team to move on to the conference finals. And since they beat the Nuggets, the Suns now pick up Nikola Jokic, making their team even stronger. Moving on to our next series, we have the Bucks versus the Nets. The Nets are currently up 3-1. They're up by 1 point here in game 5. So if they win this thing, they move on. If not, Bucks force another game. But I doubt the Bucks make a comeback. Kevin Durant, pull-up jumper. That is money. Giannis in the post. That's an awful shot. Why would he take that? Durant to Blake Griffin. That's a green. And the Nets running away with this one now. Giannis, easy dunk. There's just no defense there. Joe Harris guarding him for some reason. Now Bucks just got a foul, so it's probably, yeah, we got Kyrie going to the free throw line here. He should go 2 for 2. First one's good. Second shot, good as well. That should ice the game there. The Bucks also don't have any timeouts left. They need a big 3 here, realistically. DiVincenzo is not going to get that to go. So that is going to be game, and the Nets move on to the next round. And with that W against the Bucks, the Nets now add Giannis to their team. This team is just looking way too stacked. I cannot see them losing this thing. Next series, we have the Hawks versus the 76ers. And in game 5 here, with the 76ers up 3-1, they just completely blew out the Hawks this game. And they are going to get the W and move on to the conference finals to face off against the Nets. And the 76ers get to add Julius Randle to their team. He was actually a higher overall than Trae Young, so he gets added to the 76ers instead of Trae Young. And moving into our final series here, the Jazz versus the Clippers. This one went to a game 6, but in game 6, the Clippers just absolutely destroying the Jazz with Luka Doncic. This one really shouldn't have been that close with Luka on the Clippers, but Clippers are going to move on to the conference finals. So making our way to the conference finals here, we'll just simulate this game by game. I believe this game's second. No, the West is the second game. So Nets take a 1-0 lead, Suns take a 1-0 lead, and they both take a 2-0 lead now. Clippers finally getting a game on the Suns, but the Nets with a 3-0 lead. So they might sweep the 76ers here. And that is exactly what they're going to do. I mean, just look at the lineup on the court right now. Durant, Harden, Kyrie, and Giannis, as well as Jason Tatum. Like, there's no way this team is losing. This final game wasn't even close at all. I think the Nets are going to win this quite easily now. The only thing the Nets are missing out on is a really good center, and now they get Joel Embiid. So here is the Nets team going into the NBA Finals now. They got Kevin Durant, Giannis, James Harden. They just picked up Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, as well as Jason Tatum. And then Spencer Dinwiddie's also uninjured. So they got a lot of very solid backups as well. I just do not see this team losing. Our other series, it's 2-1 right now for the Suns. We'll simulate one more game. The Clippers tied up 2-2, and the Suns take a 3-2 lead. And in game number 6, it's a 20-point victory for the Phoenix Suns. I think the issue with the Suns earlier, why the Clippers were getting games, is because I actually didn't have LeBron getting any minutes in the game. So this went to a game 6 without LeBron playing for the Suns, where everybody was playing for the Clippers. So the Suns going to be the other team moving on to the NBA Finals. And with the W over the Clippers, they get to pick up Kawhi Leonard. So this is what the Suns starting 5 is looking like right now. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, LeBron, Kawhi, and Jokic. And then for the Nets, we got Kyrie, James Harden, Durant, Giannis, and Joel Embiid with Jason Tatum as their 6th man. So both these teams are super stacked. Let's see who's going to win the NBA Finals. Going through game number 1, the Suns with the 1-0 lead. And the Nets tied up 1-1. Suns take a 2-1 lead. Nets tied up 2-2, and the Nets now take their first lead of the series. And hopping into game 6, the Nets up 3-2. Nets also up by 6 points in this game, looking like they're going to get the W. LeBron, why did you just run out of bounds? The Nets score one more time here. I think it's going to be game over, but Harden misses the shot. And whose ball is it? It's the Nets ball. Wide open from 3. He bricks the shot, though. Embiid with the second chance points. And it's a 9-point game now, so I think this is all but over. The Nets are going to be our NBA champion. Last thing we got to find out is who gets Finals MVP. And Finals MVP is going to go to Giannis. He averaged 26.3 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 7.3 assists during that series there. 2 steals, 1.5 blocks. Shot awful from 3, but it's Giannis. And there we go. If every NBA team got to take a player from the losing team in the playoffs, Nets just built up a super stacked roster. Their roster is already stacked, especially in 2K. So adding Jason Tatum, Giannis, Joel Embiid, there's no way they were going to lose this thing. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, smash the like button. And if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Never at ease, I don't know a limit. Chasing a dream, I don't know what sleepers. I got a queen, she lit me to eating. She ripe like a peach and she snapped me to snippet. And whatever do for that link up in person. Text me to fall through a murder, she wrote it. Still up with courage, you're doing a service. Pull up to the crib, I'm equipped with the brush strokes. Cutthroat from the low when no love goes.